Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video marks a new, I don't know what the right word is, era in my YouTube channel. I've had it for a while, but it's been mostly just noodling around, jam tracks, kind of holding the spot. And I am actually going to start putting out some lessons and some different content. Hopefully, you guys will dig it. I know there's a ton of guitar content on YouTube right now and just out in the world in general. So hopefully I'm going to find some unique spins on things and some unique spins and some lessons and see where we go. Today's lesson, the one we're going to start with, is going to be an idiot's guide to chicken picking. How to chicken pick, play country guitar, a lick for people who do not play a country guitar. I spent some time in Nashville. For a while I played on Broadway, and when I first got there and was doing some songwriting, I was not a country player. I grew up playing blues and southern rock and things like that. So I was pretty intimidated by all these guys who, you know, started transcribing James Burton tunes in Kentucky when they were 3. That was not me. I had always heard country music because I had always listened to it growing up. My dad was an Alabama fanatic. Lots of Alan Jackson on the radio in my house as a kid, but I'd never learned to play most of that stuff. It seemed almost unattainable in some ways. So, I started picking up some things, hanging around Nashville, and by the time I was playing on Broadway, I had sort of my own hybrid style. I could fake chicken picking country licks pretty good. So today's video, if you're looking, how to, be a Brett Mason clone or a Brad Paisley clone, this isn't it. This is for guys who play blues, you play, different styles, you want to put some of the chicken picking stuff in your arsenal, or be able to get through a tune or two. And these are things I wish someone had showed me when I was first trying to do those things. So what we're gonna do today is a lick that the kind of things that I play that help me sort of cop that chicken picking sound, that kind of style, the country style with hybrid picking, just to get you started, to get your feet wet. And I think when I started doing some of these things, it got the wheels turning in my brain and helped me, sort of start to get my brain around country guitar, the differences in blues, the differences in rock. So here's a few techniques. Here's the lick we're going to try to learn today. It's in A. So some pretty cool chicken picking-y things in there, some country staples. And let's just break it down. I'm going to play it again slow. So basically, to me, there are 3 parts to that lick. The first one, and these are some of the first country things I picked up on, are these intervals. And if you don't know what an interval are, there are tons of music theory things you can look up intervals, but they're just the space between 2 notes. So an interval, the one we're going to look at, is super useful in country music. It's a 1/6. So like when I'm playing right here, that note is a C sharp. It's on the 6th fret on the G string. And then I'm also going to play down there the high E on the 5th string, and that's an A. So if I counted from C sharp to A, C, D, E, F, G, A, 6 notes. That's all a 1/6 is. But there's a pattern for all for what I'd use for an A chord, and I'm actually going to do it descending, going down the neck. I'm going to start on the 9th fret. And with my middle and my ring finger, I'm going to play the E and the G strings, both on the 9th fret. And I'm going to play the G string with my pick. Here's the hybrid picking part that's so important in country music. Some of the strings, the lower strings, I'm going to play with my pick. Some of the higher strings, I'm going to use my middle finger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pick on that G string, and then middle finger on the high E. So. And then I'm going to go back chromatically. There's the 8th fret, 7. So far I've got. And the note you do with your pick, some of that chicken picking sound is that first note's deadened a little bit. So you actually could not even pick the first note, just let it kind of do the cluck. So whether you want it to sound like this, or whether you want it to sound like this, and if you do that, what I do is I just kind of let this finger, it's on that string touching it, but it's not pushing it down. So if we want it super country sounding, and then I'm gonna try to end up on 4 and 5 on those G and E strings, but I'm gonna slide into it. So in slow motion again. That's the first part of the lick. That's the 6th. You'll find that pattern is super helpful in country. And all of this, by the way, all this lick could be over an A chord or an A7. That's where it would work the best. Excuse me. And like I didn't slide into it right there, but that's what we want. Now, the next part, we're right here. If you're a blues guy and you play a little bit, you probably are super familiar with the A minor pentatonic scale. So right there, look that up if you're not familiar with it. But we're gonna take it and we're gonna countryfy it a little bit. So instead of bending on the 8th fret on the B string or like the 7th fret on the G string, I'm actually gonna play, I'm gonna hold the 8th fret on the E string with my pinky, and I'm gonna take my ring finger and I'm gonna play it on the 7th fret. Now normally that note wouldn't be in the A minor pentatonic, but a lot of times in country we can blend major and minor, and if I was playing a major pentatonic, it would be right there. But I'm playing A minor, but instead of just playing that double stop, I'm gonna play my pinky, 8th fret, ring finger, 7th fret, I'm gonna play them, and I'm gonna bend up until it sounds like I'm playing that, but I've got that bend in there. So my middle finger on my right hand is plucking the E string, my pick's hitting the B string, and I'm playing them together. And I'm trying to make this note go over a half step. Now, so far we got pretty country sounding. And the next thing I'm gonna do is just a blues lick everybody knows. It's a piece of like a Chuck Berry kind of thing. So I'm bending the 7 on the G string, 5 on the B string, 5 on the E string. So, and then I'm just gonna come, after I come off of that, I'm just gonna play up the scale like I was playing blues. I'm gonna go 8 to 5, and then on the G string, 7 to 5. And then on the D string, I'm gonna go 7 to 5. Then I'm gonna end up going 5 hammered on back to 7 on the D string, 5, and that's where we're gonna pause. So that's what I'm gonna call really that's part 2 of the lick. I guess maybe the lick is almost 4 parts. So starting off with those 6, then this little bend, then just basically a blues lick. Now the next part is the actual chicken picking. When people say chicken picking, that's come to mean just country guitar, but really initially it was these sort of like pop and clicks, like these clucks, almost like a chicken, where you'd have muted notes, and then you'd have your finger popping one of the notes into the fretboard. That's really chicken picking. So we're gonna do that. Now I do it a little differently because again, I was sort of coming up with my own sort of bastardized version of it. Country guys, when they do that a lot of times, and a lot of times it's a muted note or 2 notes or even 3 notes, and then they pluck a bend. So like for example, I might pluck or hit the D string on my pick, and then the way I figured it out, because I was just listening to a lot of these other records and watching guys. So what I'm gonna do right here, here's the lick we're gonna do. We're gonna go. So what I'm doing to get that sound is I'm going pick is muting the string, and then I'm actually playing the first string muted with my ring finger. Now some country purists might cry foul and yell and tell me this is horrible, but again, this is for you guys who are trying to do some of these licks, get some of these sounds in ways that are comfortable when you've been playing blues and rock and southern rock and those things like that your whole life. For whatever reason, this was easier for me. So here's the way I would play this lick. I'm going, so pick, dead note, finger, dead note, and then I'm bending the 7th fret on the G string. And then I'm doing the same thing on the 8th fret on the B string. Same thing on the 10th fret on the B string. And then same thing on the 12th fret on the B string. So now if we put that in context with the rest of our lick, here's what it sounds like. So again, that's 7th fret on the G string, 8th fret on the B string, 10th fret on the B string, 12th fret on the B string. And you can go back and forth, you can play around with those. You know, you can have a lot of fun with that, but for today's lick, that's our lick. Now, the last part are parts I learned, like these pedal steel type bends. Here's a really easy one. So after we do the first little chicken pick thing on the 12th fret, we're gonna go right back and play that same bend. And when we get it up a full step, our pinky's gonna play the 12th fret. And then instead of just coming down like normal, we're gonna put something a little extra and fun that I think makes it sound more country. I'm gonna go up, whole step, trying to hold that note there. This is the hard part. Pinky's gonna play the 12th fret, and then while that note's still there, my first finger is gonna play the 10th fret. Then I'm gonna play that note and let it come down and end it on the A right there on the 10th fret. So it's gonna be like, and I actually, now that I'm playing it here, I'm picking it, plucking the first note on the 12th fret, picking it again, and then playing the first string on the 10th fret. And then I pick it again as it comes down. And then I can end right there. End on the A. Here's the whole lick. Now, if I had a backing track going or somebody playing an A chord, like a little country shuffle, here's what it would sound like jamming along with it. So, again, here it is one more time, just so you hear the whole thing without a backing track. Here's with the backing track. If you wanted to be a little crazier at the end and not end in an A, you could slide back to the flat 7, which would be the G. So that might sound something like, I didn't play the lick exactly the same that time, but you get that idea at the end. You could also play that G on the 3rd string on the 12th fret. It could be so. Or and then so one more time with the backing track. So there you go. I hope that is helpful. Hopefully that starts you off, gives you some good tips down the road of playing some country licks, even if that's not something you're used to or a style you grew up with. If you like this, if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. If there's more questions, if you'd like to see more of this content, let me know. If you got other ideas for lessons, please let me know. Love to see comments. Click the like button. Please subscribe. Click the bell. I'm going to put a lot more content like this. You might see me occasionally on the Casino Guitars YouTube channel. We do a lot of info, so go click like and subscribe on their channel as well. We just put out a video talking about the recent Gibson debacle, so check that out. Like both pages, subscribe to both channels. And again, thanks for watching. have a great day. Be on the lookout for more lessons and more content.